Right guys, so this is the tutorial for the Food by John Lawson Classics. We'll start off firstly with the snacks. So all inside your boxes, we should all have a mushroom Kiev, a mushroom cappuccino. We need the parsley mayonnaise, chives and truffle oil. Yeah, so then we'll just move over and start heating it. Right, so what we do firstly is we'll get the mushroom Kievs out onto a baking tray. And then we'll put them in the oven for 5 minutes, 180 degrees. They've already been cooked, so they just need finishing off in there, warming up. So a timer up there, you can do that on your phone, or if you've got a little timer you can use. And then the cappuccino, that just into a saucepan, pour it out. Just gently heat while your Kiev's warming up as well, and then we're ready to plate up once that's all heated up. Right, so now we're ready to plate up. So the mushroom Kievs, we start with them, and just off your tray onto whatever plate you're serving them onto. You got your parsley mayonnaise. We just snip the corner, and that just goes on top. Yeah, that's the first snacks done. And then the soup. So your mushroom cappuccino, just split that between your 2 cups. Right, so you start with your truffle oil. And then just a few of your chives. Remember, just use a little pinch of these ones because you'll need them later on. Just a little pinch, and that's it. That's your first snacks done. Right, so next course, we've got the bread, our gluten-free sourdough, and the cultured cashew butter. So in the foil, you've got the sourdough and the cashew butter in there. Yeah, so we're just gonna heat the bread up for a few minutes, make it nice and warm. So we'll do that now. Right, so just the bread, 180 degrees for 5 minutes. I've just got my little timer up there again. Yeah, 5 minutes, and then we're ready to plate. Right, so the bread's been heated up, all nice and warm. Just put it in a bowl. The butter is there, and then the last thing we do, just the sea salt you've got in your box, just sprinkle on top of your butter, and that's it. That's your bread course. Right, so next course up, we're highlighting Sarah Green's beetroots. So in your box, you'll have 2 pots. You've got your cheese, red vein sorrel, and then inside here we've got the salt baked beetroots, pickled and raw, and you've got some linseed cracker as well. The first thing we'll do is just heat the beetroots up. Right, so we're just gonna put the salt baked beetroots, the purple ones, onto the tray. And then we're going to heat them in the oven again for 5 minutes, 180 degrees. They've already been cooked, so we're just warming them through. Timer on again. And once the timer goes off, and then we'll be ready to plate. Right, so we're just going to plate the beetroots up now, the plant-based version. So salt baked beetroots. So we got your pickled. Beetroot cream, just snip the end. And that goes 5 dots on there, just around, so you get a little bit with every bite. And then we've got the raw beetroot, candied. Again, just keep it nice and high. Use the beetroot to hold it up. Right, so then we've got the cashew cheese. Just 3 little bits. Your linseed cracker. Nice little crunch. Lastly, red vein sorrel, 3 pieces. Yep. And there's your Sarah Greens beetroots and cashew cheese. Right, so now we're on to the celeriac bolognese with the celeriac pasta. So you've got your bolognese, the celeriac pasta, hazelnuts, chives, rapeseed oil and sea salt. So firstly, we're going to heat the bolognese up in a minute, but just take your pasta into your bowl. Rapeseed oil in there, generous bit of the sea salt, and just get that a nice little mix round. So the salt will draw out the moisture from the celeriac and soften it. Just leave that to soften 10 minutes while we heat the bolognese up. Right, so while your celeriac pasta is just marinating up there, we get your bolognese out into a pan. And then, yeah, we just nice gentle heat just to warm that up. So after that's kind of warmed up, the pasta will be ready. We'll be ready to plate. Right, so we're ready to plate now. Celeriac's been just in the bowl for 10 minutes. Just get some nice ribbons of that. So yeah, it's in the centre, just like you would a spaghetti. And then, yeah, so your bolognese, celeriac bolognese, we'll just spoon on there. And then to finish, let's get another spoon. Hazelnuts, nice little bit of texture. And then your chives from leftover from earlier. Nice bit on there. Put as many or as little as you want on there. Yep, and that's the celeriac bolognese, celeriac pasta. Right, so next up we've got the parsnip and potato gnocchi, roast parsnip, parsnip crisps, and parsnip puree, and the cashew yogurt, and this is for the plant-based. So first thing we're going to do is heat the gnocchi and the parsnips up and the puree. Right, so onto the baking tray with our 3 bits of the gnocchi. And the parsnip, and that goes into the oven, 180 degrees, 5 minutes. Just while that's heating up, you get your puree. That goes into a saucepan. Warm that up. And then once it's all heated up, we're ready to plate. Right, so now we're ready to plate. So the gnocchi and the parsnips have been in the oven. Just put the parsnip crisps on there as well. Yeah, they've been in the oven 5 minutes, 180 degrees. The puree is hot as well, so we'll start with that one. Go at 2 o'clock, me facing the plate. I'll go the crisps on top of that one. Just give it some more spoon. And then we'll go gnocchi, gnocchi, last bit there. And just rest the parsnip in there. Then the last thing, your little pouch of cashew yogurt. Just a little bit of acidity to the dish, and then we'll just put that wherever you want. Yeah, and that's it. Alright guys, we're coming to the end now. So we've got the dessert. So we've made a ginger and date cake. It's got a yuzu curd and a meringue, that's all in the box. And then you've got some maple cashew at the side. So all we need to do with this is just gently warm the cake and then we can plate. We're going to start by warming the cake up. Just on a tray, bit of baking parchment underneath. 5 minutes in the oven, 180 degrees. Again, always put your timer on, otherwise we'll forget. Yeah, so once that's hot, then we're ready to plate. Right, so we've warmed the cake up now. That's finished, 5 minutes, 180 degrees. So the first thing that goes on is your maple cashew. So that goes on the bottom of the dish. Nice bit on the bottom. Then your cake. Have a little spoon. Yuzu curd, which is just like a classic sort of lemon curd, but made with yuzu. And then meringue on top. And that's it. Right guys, so we've come to the end now. Your last little treat, cacao and miso tart. I hope you've enjoyed the meal. Thank you for all your support. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you guys.